Hey, Liternets. It's Paul. It's Matt. The Dork Lords. We are here talking about Counterpart, Season 2, Episode 4, Point of Departure. And right off the bat, we had a question from a commenter. Novo was asking about Paul's red hoodie.
That he's wearing today.
That I'm wearing today. No, I don't believe it's a hoodie, but the red shirt that you typically wear in these videos, the sweater, is from
Amazon Prime, I believe.
There you go. Boom.
So there you go.
Mystery solved.
Wow.
All right. So, back to Counterpart. Very cool episode. A lot is revealed in episode 4. It's like, wow, it's still 6 episodes to go. All right. Okay. So, we begin with Mira apparently finding Echo, the prison, which apparently had been hidden and is no longer, at least from Project Indigo. We end with Lambert Alpha, having been captured by the office, is now in a cage, saying hi to Peter, who thought he was dead, and is surprised to see him alive. And that's how we end. So, okay, so a lot of stuff happens.
A lot of stuff
in between there.
That for some reason he thinks was too much.
Well, I don't.
Too much. He didn't want as much.
I loved this episode. It was very good.
He felt full.
But I will say there was a concern that it gave us maybe 3 episodes worth of revelations, and which was great. I ate it up. I just wonder if they kept it at that pace. The pacing, it was a faster pace.
He feels bloated
than the typical pace for this show. I feel like this show is a slow burn. If you get the patience for it, you connect the dots. It's really cool. It doesn't just throw everything at you at once. And I felt like this was a little bit of a throw everything at you at once kind of episode. But I loved it. And I had no problems with this episode.
Yes, he does. Big problems.
It's just if this was this pace every single time, I feel like they'd run out of like legitimate plot lines eventually, and they'd have to start making stuff up just to add something to the episode. Hey, look, there's a mountain lion, and it's an alien. All right, anyway, no, they're not doing that. This is a great episode, but it does give a lot. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I had major events in there, like last season when you had all the kids that were killed, and they converged on the place. There were major events in this. That's all.
Okay. All right. Yes.
But there's events that have built up. Like you could argue that not really very much happened to Howard Alpha in the prison there. Really, just more continuation of what was already. Like we're talking to you more. You're talking more about your past, but not really much happens there. Really, other than he interacts with that guy again. The guy still hates him. I mean, it's like, how much more do you need of that?
Okay, let's
get some more information in there. But
let's talk on Howard Alpha then, because that's a good point. So we'll start there. Howard Alpha is meeting with this Yannick.
Yep.
Our James Cromwell, or That'll Do Pig. And Yannick even injects him with something. He says, this will make you more like Howard Prime.
Yep.
Which I don't know what he's giving him, like testosterone? I don't know. But because he basically, as Yannick puts it, this is the title of the episode, Point of Departure. He wants to find these points of departure between the primes and alphas.
Yeah, we're yet to see, and it's interesting that Howard really needs to understand why he's asking these questions, even as he doesn't like the premise. I don't think he accepts the premise so much.
Yeah.
Like, I think he wants to believe that he's perhaps always been different, or and he doesn't want to believe that there is a set of actions that could have occurred to make him like his other.
Right, which is what Yannick's almost trying to prove.
Yeah.
He keeps asking, Howard keeps saying, why? Why is this important?
Yeah.
And he's like, well, if we find these points of departure, then I can tell you more about yourself. Which is like, okay, but I am me. I don't know. Anyway, but yes.
Yeah, I mean, presumably from their perspective, they still want what they want, which is him to spy on his wife. So maybe they believe that if they find out about Margot, it's like, we can have those same things happen to him, and then he'll do it.
Okay.
That's a reason why. I don't know that that's the reason.
I thought it was just like, good point. That's actually much better than my thought, which was just like, they're punishing him for not helping. Like, we'll punish you until you go, all right, fine, I'll help. But you're right, it doesn't come off
like maybe part of the punishment every 10 or 15 minutes he says, that'll do, pig.
Yeah,
that'll do, pig.
That'll do, pig. I'll ram you. Right, because if it was just punishment, they would just lock him in a cell and be jerks to him. They wouldn't like have a talk. And so but so it does seem like he is the guinea pig in an experiment that Yannick is trying to make him like his prime. Is what it kind of feels like. And so one of the things,
when he mentions or he's mentioning it to everybody, like, oh boy, I got these bruises, and everybody can see, of course, that he has bruises. So Yannick is like, he makes a comment about that, basically, that it's that almost makes it seem like he's saying, maybe you should be changing.
Yeah, well,
you're too nice.
It was obvious. Yeah, he was watching the fight and maybe engineered it even in some way, or allowed it to happen.
Right.
And then was trying to watching his reactions.
Yeah.
And so, which is why it's important at the end when Howard Alpha makes the choice, instead of going and being confrontational with Marcel, the guy who had beaten him up, he tries to apologize. He's like, look, I get it. You're angry at my other. I'm not him, and on behalf of him, I'm apologizing. And I was waiting for the show because I was like, this.
Yeah,
I'm hoping the show doesn't end with a hug, because that's not what that would happen.
He seemed to be accepting it rather easily, like, oh, about my sister, but really it was more like, let's see what happens if I play along a little bit, but I don't buy what you're telling me.
I was also, actually, it occurred to me.
Which, is kind of irritating in a way. I mean, because I feel like it's like he could try a little harder. He could almost be like, here, Marcel, come with me. Like, Yannick, tell him, I'm from the other, And then Yannick could be an asshole and be like, no, he's not from the other place, but...
I do feel like it was what I liked about that scene and the reaction was that Marcel, I think, realizes he's from the other side, but it doesn't matter. And it's like you can't apologize for that. You can't distance yourself. You're still that guy.
Yeah,
so you're still the same guy.
Technically, I guess, or realistically, perhaps he's not in a place where he can distinguish between the two. Maybe he certainly does know that it doesn't matter. You're still the same person.
You apologizing on behalf of your other. It doesn't absolve anything, and boo. And I like that. I liked the reaction. I thought it was a pretty honest one in that moment. But when Howard Alpha is describing meeting Marcel's sister on the other side, and that she had a boyfriend or whatever, I got the opinion, they didn't say it out loud, but when by Marcel asking, like, oh, you met my sister? I got the feeling that maybe she was dead on this side. Like maybe from the flu is what I kind of got the idea. Like maybe at the connection to somebody that he doesn't have connection to on this side.
It could be.
Anyway.
Could be.
There wasn't information necessarily one way or the other, but I kind of felt like perhaps that was an implication there.
In a way, but I mean, in a way though, I kind of feel like that was making him feel even more.
Right.
Like, oh, she's alive?
Yeah.
So... It's like, hey, could you tell me more about my sister, and then I'll beat you up a little more?
Yeah, can I beat you up more? We also
This is fun. We'll do it tomorrow.
So what we see as a point of departure, maybe the original point of departure, we're not, probably not. I think there's probably other points of departure between the two Howards, but we see this thing we hadn't seen before, which is that back in the day, Howard, both of the Howards had a ne'er-do-well dad, a dad who spent all their money gambling, maybe was an alcoholic, I'm not sure. Anyway, was not a good guy. And Howard Alpha still empathized with him and connected with, stayed in contact with him until the father died. Howard Prime abandoned the dad, basically. It's like, I never want to talk to you again, I'm out.
Yeah, I wonder if if there actually is a point of departure, and actually I'm still not 100% sold on the idea that there is.
The idea
but
of
maybe
choosing left and choosing right.
I feel like it should have occurred before then, not been at that moment.
I agree that that's already the person you are is going to react to the father, right? You're not like, oh, the father slapped me on the face. All right, well, this is where I make my choice. It did. Right. It's like you're already that person to say, I hate you, or I'll stay with you, whatever.
Right.
So, if there is a actual moment in time, I think it would be pre that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. If you feel that way, let us know.
But I feel like he's so, it's like it's a big point of him, almost to the point where I'm suspicious.
And when you say him, you're saying
Howard Alpha. Okay. He's so different than his other than his.
But you're saying that maybe he's lying.
No.
Oh.
Well, I think I've said before, right, that he might be a Manchurian candidate.
Oh, sure. Okay.
Where there's something about him that's deliberately doing that, and then he could, or there's some genetic weird thing that happened. I mean, I can't. It's difficult for me to reconcile.
But I did,
and maybe they don't want me to reconcile it, but
I did like the fact that when he makes that appeal to Marcel, even though it ends up with him getting shoved down, like he's asserting to Yannick, because I think he also realizes he's being filmed.
Sure.
And that I'm not vengeful guy. Yeah. I'm gonna still approach this with kindness. Because in some ways he's almost so determined to do that. You see that stubbornness.
Yeah. See, that's what it was like. I feel like it could be argued that perhaps Howard's not being smart about how he's, but I feel like if he were like, okay, listen, Marcel, under what circumstances would Howard ever do what I'm doing? What could possibly Howard get out of this?
And it's interesting because he has a conversation with Peter Prime, where Peter says, because Howard basically gives him the compliment of like, oh, you're nicer than your other.
Right.
It's like it's really tougher to be the nicer one. Yep. Like and obviously Howard can relate to that. He's like, I think it's better though to be the kinder guy. So what do you think when they say all these people are upset with Howard Prime for having them put in there? What does that exactly mean to you? Like how did Howard Prime get these people put into Echo?
It's hard to believe, or hard to square with Howard Prime's on the other side not wanting to kill those other people.
Right.
So he's like, hey, whoa, I know these people, I know their families. He knows Marcel's family. Why is he selling them out if he's right?
See, I don't know that
if Marcel's right.
I didn't. And if you know in the comments, let us know what you feel like is. How did Howard Prime get these, like Marcel and his compadres, put into Echo? I almost feel like it's because he found out about their others, found out they were important. On the other
communicated
side,
that,
and so then
they're
like,
blaming
by
him
the
for
way,
that.
Right, that's what I'm wondering. Like, geez, he just did intel.
Yeah.
It turns out your guy was important.
Yeah.
So you're in here. I think that's kind of what I'm guessing. That's what it is.
Well, then.
In which case, it's like, geez.
Yeah, really, you guys are.
But that would be the most logical
following
way, right?
orders.
How else would you be put in there?
Well, I was, like he had a team, and they're like, take him away.
Oh, I see what you mean. Like he physically took them there.
Yeah.
Okay, well, maybe that's true. Maybe that's.
But yours seems in a way more. Well, actually, it seems really like, how dare you? Get over it.
Yeah, right. So that's
if you want to be mad at somebody, be mad at your other. Apparently, you should be.
That's right. The other was important enough that now you're stuck
Yeah, why
here.
couldn't they be lazy motherfuckers?
Damn it. See, that's right. Like my other would probably be just fine.
Yeah.
He'd be like,
Mine
oh, great.
too.
I'll just sip some coffee. Whatever. I'll smoke that illegal cigarette.
That's right.
So just to kind of put the whole Echo thing into perspective. So the other part of the Echo problem is that in the beginning of this thing, we see Mira. She finds Echo. She's been using the tracker from the pill that Howard Alpha swallowed.
Yeah.
She sees this field, just go away. She meets the guard. There's a weird little transaction there where she's like, who are you? What's your name? Or something like that. And the look on his face to me suggested,
not to me.
But not to you, suggested he might be helpful in some way. But perhaps not. I mean, he didn't say like, oh, Commandant, I'll help you out. So I could be totally reading way more into that than is there. But any case, she knows where Echo Base is, and she has communicated that to her second, Osman, the guy who was interrogating Howard Alpha an episode or two ago. We'll come back to this, but he's meanwhile stolen the communication device that the management uses. And somehow they're going to do something like a break-in? Or they want something from Echo.
Yeah.
And they are going to attempt to get that next episode, it seems like.
It's my theory that they want Peter.
You think they want Peter Prime to do what? To take the place?
Once the doors open up, they'll sneak him over there and kill the other Peter. That's part of their. I imagine that's part of their ultimate thing that they have happen. I mean, because they still have a need for her, and even though all she's doing so far.
When you say she.
Sorry, Claire. All Claire's doing so far is telling people, do this, do that, do this. It's good that there's Peter there, and but now that if she was another one of them, that'd be great.
That is possible.
Although maybe I don't know. Who knows? I mean, you were saying though that he doesn't seem like he'd be capable of doing it.
Yeah, because he says one of his traits when Howard Alpha watches one of his sessions with Yannick, he says like, I don't want responsibility because I don't want to f it up. I feel like having responsibility means I'm going to screw something up, and I don't want to have that on me. Seems like
you could argue though that it's just in a milder form, and
yeah, no, I agree that it's just, maybe if Peter Alpha had his druthers, he wouldn't have any responsibilities either. But also there's a sense of that's a tricky thing now. So obviously they had the school, and when Claire went to the school, she spent a couple of years getting into character, working the part out. Before they put her in there. In this case, they'd be grabbing this guy, probably using him right away, and the other side is now like really cognizant of this.
But what he has to do is work in an office. I mean, there are times when he goes out and does, but I feel like he doesn't need to.
Okay.
I
think maybe my theory on why they're invading or breaking into Echo is for information, and so I think maybe they're after Yannick. Or Yannick's notes, or so that they get all this information about the people on, you had 3 goldfish or whatever that was, any little piece of information they can get on the other side that are secret to Echo. So anyway, I feel like That'll Do Pig is going to get kidnapped. You think it's Peter Prime, perhaps?
Yeah.
All right, we'll just see how that works.
I do. I mean, sort of like if they have his files.
Could also be Howard.
Then
but
why would
put
they?
Him in there
why
and
would they
break him
need?
out?
Right. Well, if they had his files, Yannick's files, why would they need Yannick?
Good point.
And it's like they probably wouldn't need that. I mean, I know everything. I'm the Oracle.
Yeah, right. It's all in my head. I have my mind palace. So yeah. Anyway, there's an interesting little plot there where Mira is still up to no good.
Although if I had, druthers, it's something we hadn't thought of. They're pretty good at that.
Yeah, they are. Okay, so that's kind of Echo stuff. We can we'll attach onto Echo the box. So we see that Ian has taken the management communication box to this techie friend of his, and basically it's like, hey, extract all the data you can out of this, and here's some pack of smokes. I'll give you 10,000, and I'll be back. When he comes back, guy's dead, box is gone. And at the same time, the cops show up and arrest Ian, who's like, oh, no, wait, I'm one of you guys.
Well, other people in that organization, right?
Actually, it was the management. I think it was the guy who was representing management.
It was. The guy was like, you'll never see me again.
So the management was familiar with the thing being stolen. For considering Ian was trying to give this to this secret guy, it seemed like everybody found out about it. Mira found out about it, and management found out about it. So perhaps in the process of extracting the data, the guy sent up a flare that
it'd be interesting if not Claire, Emily is able to keep her job. Emily Prime is able to keep her job. Because he already was blowing off the meetings he was supposed to have at the beginning of the episode.
And she was told not to go to that house.
Not to go to that house. And then she told Ian and so that caused it to be stolen. So, it'd be interesting if she's able to keep her job.
Keep her job on this situation. So
even though it was like they should have been telling her all along. It's another one of those if we had talked to the other side and if we had really pursued this in an intelligent way instead of the stupid way.
It was interesting. They were very careful to say when the techie is talking to Ian, and they realize it's a management communication device.
Yes.
He's like, oh, is this for talking to the other side? He's like, no, this is only for this side or something like that.
Yeah, because they don't want to be,
Anyway, just
together.
They clarified that. They're
Yeah.
like, this isn't a box for talking across the board, the crossing. So there's that. Then we've got a big kind of a dual thing of Emily Prime and Emily Alpha both retracing their steps. We see an interesting scene of Emily Prime. Actually, both Emily's.
Yeah, we see both Emily's.
It's what it turns to both Emily's as a little kid, because their experiences were the same, with their mom going off to the place where eventually she hides the secrets.
Yes. Yeah, mom teaches her how to be a spy.
Yeah. So her mom is having an affair, and is disguised. She's bringing her daughter along, I guess, for cover. Right? So I'm sure, instead of like, hi, husband, I'm going to go have an affair now. She's like, we're going to have a girls' weekend.
Yeah.
So she actually brings her kid.
Yeah.
Just like, oy.
Yeah, really.
And so while they're there, she's like, or while they're on their way, there's an interesting conversation where she's like, hey, we can pretend to be other people. And I think part of that reasoning is, I'd rather not have my name get thrown around here while I'm having an affair, so why don't you pretend to be someone else too?
Yeah, but then when she teaches, like, don't
make it huge.
Yeah, don't make it huge.
Because she says,
I
want to be Belinda,
lie.
like Belinda Carlisle from the Go-Go's, and I want to be, I want to breathe underwater and be from the future.
Yeah,
this is what a kid would say. I'd probably say that.
Sure, why not? Yeah, you definitely say that.
I would definitely say that. I'd be the Submariner, though. All right, anyway. Okay, no. So the mom's quick to point out, like, no, don't do that. That's a big lie. You make your lie too big, people don't believe it. You make little lies. So in case of her, she's like, see, my persona is I'm a pianist who gave it up to do, like, I forgot what she said, like moral philosophy.
Yeah.
Like, see, because I study philosophy, I'm good at piano. I could talk about those things all day long, and I'm good. So I'm going to be called Annette, and that's my persona. Mm-hmm. So yeah, she's learning about lying from her mom. She also comments on her mom's wedding ring. It's a platinum ring. That comes in important later when she stumbles on her mom having sex with this random guy, and she races out. She grabs the mom's wedding ring and races out of the house.
Yeah,
to hide it. Like, you don't deserve this ring, basically. I think it's kind of what I'm getting out of it.
Presumably.
And so she runs to this little church that's down by the river or lake and
ocean,
one
of those,
and hides the ring in the wall.
I think she says river.
It's that wall that she later Emily Alpha, while on the Prime side, hides a lot of important records, documents in that same spot. And Emily Prime, hearing that, Emily Alpha was hiding important information in this hiding spot that only she knew about. Emily Prime goes to that spot, finds the things, like, and she learns of Osmond's name, so the guy who's the second in command to
and sees his picture. And
just probably other information there, because I think part of the info was all about, like, proof that the other side had, our side had initiated the flu.
What kind of car does he drive? Where can you put the tracking device?
Interestingly, we see that Emily, both Emilys have used Belinda as their aliases.
Yes.
So Emily Alpha, I guess they both use, I don't know. But Emily Alpha continued using Belinda as her, like, name to rent the cabins or whatever. And in Emily Prime...
Yeah, because when Emily Prime came with her, she was surprised that it's like, oh, yeah, you're that person that I only saw once when I was a kid. Oh, no, we've seen you as an adult recently because you are around here all the time hiding things.
Yeah, right.
So...
yes, unspoken.
Yes.
And... So I guess Emily Alpha's been using that term, because Emily Alpha also used the term Belinda Clemens when she was checking in and out the book The Tin Drum.
Mark Twain.
Yes, perhaps a little Samuel Clemens. Who knows? Yeah, fake name. So...
Nom de plume.
Nom de plume. So Emily Prime has figured that out. Emily Alpha is trying to read the Tin Drum and there's a scene where Howard Prime is like, "Oh, great! Hey, you can read the title. Great." And she's like, "You're patronizing me." He's like, "It's actually patronizing, but I realize it's hard to say the word patronizing without sounding patronizing." And so he's, a little like,
I think she's too sensitive.
okay, she probably would be sensitive
my
about it, right?
impression. I mean, she's been testing them all along, though, right? Because her thing about, hey, like, look, let's go out to celebrate.
Yeah.
Like, I want you to cook for me the way that the husband that I love, Howard Alpha, cooks. And he's like, yeah, right.
Because then
he's just like, okay, I'll just walk out the door.
When he finally explodes, because he's stressed anyway, because he just learned that his agents are dead, but then also that she could have walked into a trap and be dead.
Well, or
exposed him.
And exposed him. Yes.
That he's like, "Die!" and he explodes, and she then basically
and she
says,
doesn't know
I preferred
anything
it when you didn't react.
Yeah,
this
she
way.
doesn't know what she's doing, and she could be messing everything up, and then she goes and messes everything up.
Right. So she starts trying to read the Tin Drum. She feels like it's important for some reason. It's important.
Yeah, it is.
Because the book is her sign for dealing with Lambert Alpha. No, Prime. Mainly Prime, but of both. Yeah, a little bit of both. And so, just FYI, the Tin Drum, it's got a little relevance in that the subject matter of the Tin Drum it's written from a person who's in a mental asylum, and he's an unreliable narrator, and he's kind of recounting his past. And it's a bizarre story we're not going to get into, but essentially, it's a person in a mental asylum who's an unreliable narrator. She's a person with kind of memory problems, who's kind of unreliable narrator in and of herself. So there's a little bit of relevance there, I think, maybe. And it also takes place in Eastern Europe during World War II. So it's kind of relevant to the Cold War kind of thing. Anyway, okay, so she goes to turn the Tin Drum in and finds out, oh yeah, you've had this forever, and there's only 2 people that ever get this thing.
Oh yes.
So she decides she's going to wait and see who comes to pick up the book, because this other person has been told to get notice when the book comes back. The person who comes to get it is Lambert Alpha.
Yes.
Because Lambert Prime is dead.
Yes.
At that point. And that's actually one of the reasons he's so eager to come there. Probably he's like, where? Because he says
he doesn't know where he is. So you know where he is. So
where is he? And just FYI, I spent way too long trying to see what book she's trying to read unsuccessfully in the library. It's Wind in the Willows. It's the German version of Wind in the Willows. I don't know. There's a whole lot there, except to say that Mr. Toad, who's the main character in Wind in the Willows, his friends try to basically put him under house arrest for his own good, to keep him out of trouble, and then he sneaks out and then gets into trouble. And so in some ways, she's being like, don't leave the house, you're going to get in trouble. And she's like, I'm going to sneak out and get into trouble. So she's Mr. Toad, basically, in this thing. So yeah, she follows Lambert, not really realizing why, or what she's going to say to him, and he basically forces the issue. It's like, all right, you sit down. And he realizes very quickly that she doesn't remember him. Because he's like, oh, I hear you've been having mental or troubles or something.
Yeah.
But he's the alpha. He says he's met with her a couple of times, but that primarily it's his other Lambert Prime that is her source.
Right. And that Emily gives them money and they give her information.
Right. And he says, if you get information on Lambert Prime, he's very worried that something's happened, and he should be, to Lambert Prime. So he says, hey, if you get information, go to this restaurant and order this drink, which I assume is how they eventually catch him, probably, right? Because at the end, Emily Alpha meets up with our FBI agent, Naya, I think is her name, and it's hey, I have a person you probably want to meet. She probably gave them the information. Here, go and order this drink. He's going to show up. You can arrest him, and they do.
Yeah, it's possible though that it was perhaps less confrontational than that she took her along and just said, hey, you probably should come with us because you're probably not doing very well.
Yeah. And so it's a shock to Peter at the end when he sees Lambert Alpha because, at least in that moment, it didn't occur to him that maybe the Alpha would be as well informed as the Prime.
And that they'd be involved together working.
Right.
It was like they, And
because the Alpha is like, oh, I thought you looked surprised to see me alive.
Yeah.
Like, oh shit. So the reason they think Prime is that Lambert is dead is because the Claire, Howard Prime, and then the Prime recon team work on a plan. It's a kind of a cool plan to get Lambert off the street.
Yes.
They give him a patch that like drugs him, and then they kind of carry him off and take him to the safe house.
Yes.
Where he sits with Baldwin for a while. Now we know Howard Prime told Baldwin, "I need this guy dead. So that's your job. If I find him, you kill him." And he gave Baldwin a knife.
Yep.
So he also did say to her, though, "Don't kill my buddies.
Yeah.
They're my buddies."
Yep.
And so she breaks out.
She's forced to kill them.
Kills Baldwin. She kills herself. No. There's no other way. She kills Lambert and then is forced to kill the other three. Although I would say, I believe from the action, because you see her, like, she kind of stabs one guy in the throat, and he's dying in the foreground while the action's happening in the background.
Right.
Which is kind of an interesting way to put that.
Yeah.
But it looks like, from what I could tell, one of the agents shoots the other agent, trying to shoot her.
Oh.
Like, she kind of puts him, and he's like,
Yep.
So she didn't kill that guy. She's like, I only killed two. I only killed two of them.
Yeah. That'll stand up in a court.
Exactly.
No.
I should get a one spy discount. So she kills everyone in the room and escapes. She then calls Claire, says, "Hey, the job's done. And by the way, apologize to Howard Prime for what I had to do." Leaves it at that. Howard Prime then finds out what she did and is
because
upset.
no one passed the information on at all.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, I don't know if Claire's going to even tell him that. So that's obviously going to have some ramifications in terms of their relationship, I think. I mean, you wouldn't... Story-wise, I don't think he's just going to let that fly. I think at some point he's going to harbor a grudge in some way, like, I don't trust you because you did this thing. I don't know. Maybe.
Look,
it just feels weird that she went. Why would they even do that if it wasn't going to pay off for something later? Like, in other words, couldn't you have just had the story be she kills Lambert and escapes? Like, why have her kill those guys unless it was going to be meaningful in some way?
guess. I mean, I feel like it was unreasonable of him to ask. Sure. He put them in that position. It's
like, hey, you're going to have somebody that you really want to keep trying to get away, and you're probably going to try to catch that person, and that person's going to respond with violence.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of foreseeable.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It just felt odd that they went through with it unless it's going to pay off in something later. So I feel like Baldwin has damaged her position, either with Howard or maybe just generally speaking as a killer or something, that it's bad times for her are going to come as repercussions for her killing those guys.
I mean, it certainly resets their relationship. Because it's not like they were on good terms before. I mean, he helped her out, and then she
brought him into the
whole thing and forced her to kill him or his friends. So it probably makes them trust each other less.
Maybe the biggest revelation we got in the episode is Claire, while they're doing this whole kidnapping Lambert Prime thing, she goes to Lambert's house. She does notice 2 pairs of shoes. Doesn't think, oh, it must be a twin.
No, she doesn't think that.
But she's going to figure it out in the next episode when she realizes, oh, that guy's alive and he seems to know stuff. But for now, she notices that. But then she gets her file from Lambert and listens to an audio clip from Pope talking to Lambert saying, Claire's parents didn't die from the flu.
Yep.
We killed them. And
it was, what's her name that killed him?
Mira.
Mira killed him.
Specifically.
Yep.
Gave them arsenic poisoning, which apparently we now know what the flu does over there is it looks like arsenic poisoning effects. Not that that matters that much, but whatever.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't matter at all.
So Mira killed Claire. They identified Claire as a good target because her other was important.
Yes.
And so they decided to make matters fit for what they wanted, which is your parents were killed, so we'll kill them. And so again, now that Claire knows that, and it obviously bothered her greatly, as it would.
Yep.
What does that mean for her allegiance?
Yeah.
To, I mean, she now has to know, like, I was completely set up by this organization.
And they, sort of did reiterate in her conversation with Lambert that, she's a true believer. She distinguishes herself from Lambert, who we're going to see even more the next time in previews, says that he, whoever gets...
He was the highest bidder.
Highest bidder. So, he's just playing the odds. So, but no,
Because I guess the flu still happened. I mean, it is still a thing. If she was a true believer before, if she hated our side before, she still hates our side. But she would now maybe have also hatred for her own side.
Yeah. Yeah, because they deliberately put her in that position. And, we'll see.
It's a complicated
her
thing.
story they've told us so far, where they had to sort of convince her, like, oh, don't make any connections. Oh, you're making a connection. We're going to send this guy off that you're making a connection to. I mean, we killed your parents, and
the fact that he's come back around now and Spencer still is now in the
right.
picture.
But now we're going to put you in a situation where you're going to have a child, and potentially we're endangering that relationship too. So, good luck.
Yeah. I mean, it was
Good luck
interesting
staying
to see
along this thing. I mean, why she would still continue it should start to be a question.
Yeah. And it was interesting. I like the scene where she and Peter actually have like a reasonable dinner together.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
Like pressure's off a little bit, and sure, you killed my true love and everything, but we're still. Hey, well, yeah, white asparagus. Oh, man, great. It actually was white asparagus. It wasn't just a code word. You actually gave me white asparagus. That's pretty cool. So yeah, just their relationship is so complex.
Yes,
it's like,
yes,
man,
yeah.
they're doing it well. By the way, you out there probably know this, and I was just stupid. But I was getting ready for this. I was looking through the IMDb stuff and different actors. Realized I knew the actor who played Peter Quayle. Seen him before. You're out there going, duh, but I didn't know this, so perhaps you didn't either.
If I knew, I forgot.
Viserys Targaryen. There you go.
There you go.
He's the dude who got the gold poured on his head, spoiler alert, and was a horrible dick.
Horrible dick.
In that show.
Yes.
Not quite as dickish in this one, but he's still kind of an uncaring, get-along guy. Anyway. But,
yeah, and his other is actually nicer than that.
Yes. Right. So those are the major beats, I feel like, yeah? Is there some other revelation I'm forgetting at this point? We've talked about
like
Howard Alpha. He's in prison. Howard Prime's been walking around and...
I think we had...
All right, so here we go. If we're going to finish off with what I like to do with, as you put it, every show.
Yes, every show.
Even the Brady Bunch. Like, who's going to get killed off in the Brady Bunch? Oh, that Peter, he's in trouble.
His voice is changing. Who knows? Yeah.
For this show, much like Daredevil, I could imagine people get killed in these shows, okay? And a lot of times it seems like there's a little premonition of that person's probably going to die. I was wrong on this show in season 1 when I was like, Peter is dead. And he survived. And now he has even a second guy living. Although Peter Prime might be in trouble with the attack, if it's an attack, on Echo.
Yes.
But anyway, pick a character doesn't have to be Howard, but whatever. A fairly major character, named character, that you think is probably going to die before the end of the season. One character.
Ian.
That's mine too. All right, so that's what I was going to say. I think Ian is marked for death. He's important to Emily, but he's not critical to the story, and he's really stepped in it in a few ways that like make him potentially killable in a lot of ways. So I think he's going to get dinked probably late in the year, and it'll be an emotional moment for Emily Prime. But it'll also then maybe it's like an ending of that relationship, and it's a moving on, and maybe she moves back in the way of toward Howard or something like that. But anyway, I think Ian is in real trouble. We haven't met Ian's other either, right? Theoretically there's an Ian back on the.
We haven't met the other
Alpha, Ian Alpha.
Yeah.
But Ian Prime, I think, is in trouble. There we go. All right. Well, you said the same one. See, we think alike.
That was good. Like, if I had to pick somebody, I was actually thinking. I feel like they could. Okay, so one of the things that I thought about when Lambert died is the fact that it's not going to seem any different to the audience watching it at all. Because they knew each other, what was going on.
Yeah.
You know, there'll be times when he's like, "Oh, I didn't know this because my other one."
If it's
knew
convenient, they can say,
right,
"I didn't
exactly."
know that.
But it's gonna be like he's always still there.
Sure.
So in theory, they could do that with a lot of people. Actually, they could do with it. Well, Howard is probably the least likely, and maybe Emily is number 2. But the other Peter, they could lose. They could lose the other Peter Prime especially. I think they could lose Claire's Alpha's father.
Okay.
We still
West Wing.
we haven't met Toby's wife yet, I don't think. Or no, I guess we did because they go to the party together.
Yeah.
But we don't even see. Who cares if she dies? But either of them or both of them could die.
Here's a scenario with the Peter thing, perhaps. What if somehow, let's say,
I think Baldwin could die. I'm not actually sure that she was supposed to live past the first season.
All right, they just kind of liked her character enough.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. So if they can come up with a because part of me is like, really, she kills all 3 of those guys. They're supposed to be trained, and it's like this whole I'm a super spy.
She's a superhero, essentially. Yes, she lives by the sword, die by the sword kind of thing in a way.
And what's her name? Mira. I feel like she doesn't have to live. She's as expendable as.
That's true. As a villain, she's probably at some point she's going to have a death.
As Pope was last season.
Right. That's a good point. Mira would be a good candidate. I was even thinking like it's so obvious because she's a villain that she's going to get a comeuppance at some point. And
obviously, there's still other people.
Yeah. I was trying to imagine a situation though, because you were talking about how it doesn't seem to matter in the Lambert thing, which is a good point. That it's the same actor. He just pretends he's Alpha now. But if you did a thing where somebody like Peter, let's say, on one side gets killed, and they have to replace
if it was Peter Alpha that died, then that would have more ramifications.
Screw stuff up. Let's get Peter Prime in there.
Peter Prime got killed.
Yeah,
that probably could happen real easily.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, if you've got some theories out there for who put one person you think is most likely to not make it to season 3, feel free to put that out for us. So Anyway, thanks a lot, everybody. We are going to be back. We were thinking about maybe doing a thing on Bandersnatch. Is that still a thing? We maybe try that.
I don't know.
All right, we might do Bandersnatch. We're also talking about Night Flyers. And I'll be back with the Lord of the Rings video as well. So, bye, everybody.